Hey guys, today we're going to do the out-of-box review for the HGUC Guncannon Revive version. So this is the first in Bandai's new HG Revive line that they're doing. It's not solely exclusively HGUC, as one of the next ones we've got coming out is going to be the Freedom. But anyway, this is the Guncannon. It's number 190 in the HGUC line now. The first Guncannon was actually number 1 in the series, so it's kind of fitting that they've taken the mobile suit that was the first in the HGUC line and made it the first in the Revive line. Now the second one is the RX-77-2 Gundam, which has already been released, and I should be reviewing that in a little while. That is not the second in the HGUC line, so it's not like they're just going through the HGUC line and doing them one by one. They definitely seem to be just picking and choosing a few of some of the favorites, I think. So the next one we've got is the Gundam, then the Freedom, then the Gundam Mark II will be after that. So what we've got after that, I don't know, we'll have to see, but all of those kits are definitely a little bit dated. Anyway, I've never been too much of a fan of the Guncannon, so actually I've never built one before in any shape or form at all. But this one definitely impressed me. I definitely kind of like it. As you can see now, I've got it in a just very straight pose, and just because that's kind of how I sort of imagine the Guncannon, a little bit derpy, but just because of its age, and I don't know, just how it is in the series. I don't know if you've ever watched the series, it's definitely kind of derpy, but in a minute I'll change up that pose a little bit for you guys. The other thing you're going to notice is that I did do a little bit of panel lining on this. It was a very, very quick build, so I thought, just like the build was just going so fast, I thought I might as well just drop a little panel lining in here and there, just to kind of make the little bit of details that it has stand out, because as you can see, there aren't really a whole lot of details on here. I think what they're going for with this HGUC, this Revive line, is basically to work more on the proportions and the articulation of the kits rather than just trying to add a lot of detail, because there's no RG of the Guncannon, but if you wanted like a super detailed RX-77-2 Gundam or Freedom or Mark II, which are the upcoming releases, then if you wanted a super detailed one of those, you could just get the RG. But for the Guncannon, there's not a really detailed one. Even the MG is really not all that super detailed, just because of its design. But anyway, the few details that this one has, I thought I'd bring some of those out with a little bit of panel lining ink. I just used some Tamiya accent color on that. There we go. Now maybe you can get a little bit better idea of why this kit impressed me, because it managed to take a mobile suit that I've never really been too impressed by and make it look pretty impressive, just by what you're able to do with the posing. Just get a pretty nice solid pose out of this, and this, I mean, this isn't the only one. I'll show you a couple other poses as we go along, and just the proportions of it look just so much better than the original. The original one, like, the head was much bigger, the legs were fatter. I think they've just done a good job to just make this look just overall a little bit more impressive, so that's pretty good. The build, like I said, it was pretty fast, pretty straightforward. There aren't too many seam lines. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at some of the articulation here. Starting off in the head, you'll notice there's that clear green piece, and behind there is some detail, so I tried to bring that out with some panel lining ink behind that. That's just molded into the white part behind. And the head is going to have some pretty nice articulation going up very far. That's kind of so you can do the kind of pose that we'll get to in a little bit, kind of famous Guncannon pose. And down and all around, all like that. These cannons are just going to go up and down like that. No rotation like side to side or anything. The arms, without any kind of real shoulder armor, are just only going to be able to go up only about that much though, so not as much. I know the RX-77-2 Revive version has the gimmick where the arms can go up very, very high. This one does not have that, so that's going to be the limit. Otherwise, pretty standard rotation there, and a very nice double joint at the elbow, so like basically a full 180-degree bend there at the elbow. That's really good. The wrists are kind of interesting. They're on ball joints, but the ball joint is very, very deep inside there, so the hands actually will pull out a little bit like that, and you're going to use that more later when you use the open hands, because then you can get a little bit better bend there when that's out, but it does pull out if you pull it out too far, so just be a little bit careful with that. The waist is very interesting, and I know that this is the case with the RX-78-2 as well. The way that the ball joint plugs in inside there is not like the standard, like just up and down, just like pop it straight on, but the ball joint actually plugs into the front, like it's like plugged in here where the cockpit hatch is, so you're able to get a really nice ab crunch there because of that piece inside. So really nice movement there in the waist. You can move that forward. Side to side, it's not really anything, and back, not really anything, but you're getting some really nice forward crunch there, so that's good. The waist armor is all very standard. The front is connected, but you can just clip that to separate those. The side skirts are just on these standard polycaps like we've seen with a lot of recent kits, and the back skirt does not move at all. The legs again are pretty standard but very nice. Some rotation there. Very nice double joint at the knees, but the original kit did have that, but of course this one is just done with a little bit nicer detail there inside and all of that. The ankles as well are pretty standard but very good. The way that these connect, it's connected here in the front in the toe, so you've got a little bit of like flip-flop action there, sort of similar to some of the HGGM kits. So that's pretty nice, and you do actually have, it's going to be really hard to see, but inside there's actually some detail, so just pretty cool they even paid that much attention to the detail inside the foot for when you've got it in a pose where you might actually be able to see that very slightly. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. We can just move right into the accessories, because there aren't too many of those either, sorry. We've got two open hands, which are just pretty nice open hands, but they're also going to come in handy for doing that classic gun cannon pose. And then we've got our beam rifle, which is different from the RX-77-2's beam rifle, so it is going to be kind of unique here. I like the shape of this. I actually like the design of this beam rifle better than the RX-78-2's, because I like how it's more kind of heavy here in the back and then just a long straight barrel here. On the RX-78-2, the sight is more in the front. The sight does move down to the side like that, just up and down, and there's no secondary handle in the front, so it's just going to be just one-handed here. This was, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, something like that, so definitely more parts included here than what we normally see in a just HGUC beam rifle. And then once again, we do also have these marking stickers as well, just 108, 109, and 203 if you wanted to use those. One set of the large numbers and then two sets of the smaller ones. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple other poses here. Here, of course, is that classic gun cannon pose, just kind of down on his hands and knees firing the cannons. It should be like up over a hill kind of thing like that. But I couldn't find anything good to sort of put it on. But anyway, I think you can get the idea. The point is that the hands are good, that they're able to sort of make that pose if you wanted it on something. If you wanted it to be on something flat like this, it's obviously going to look not quite right, just because the fingers are a little bit curled. But like I said, it's really supposed to be like on a kind of hill kind of thing. So I guess that's why, if you're doing like a diorama, that's how you would really ideally want to do it. But also just showing off the nice head movement there, that it can point very far up to be able to do that. So I think that's pretty cool that they were able to do that. It's definitely goofy, but I guess that was just how things were back then. And there you can see a nice detail up under the feet also. I forgot to point that out, but anyway, that's that. But I think it's definitely best suited when you've got it up on an action base. Right, so I think that's a little bit better once you've got it up on an action base. It's just going to be able to show off some of that improved articulation that they were going for with making this a Revive kit. Now, you could get even just much more extreme than what I've got here, but I just tried to go for just something pretty basic in terms of a pretty simple pose. One thing that I noticed that I forgot to point out when we were talking about the articulation is that the shoulder joints are actually on those same kind of ball joints that we've really seen in most recent RGs, where it's the ball joint that swings forward. It's like that, but it's not really going to go all that forward. That's about as much as you're going to get forward. So because the polycap's set kind of a little bit deeper in there than usual. It's usually like right on the edge, so it's able to swing out, but it's like a little bit in, so it's able to swing only a little bit out, so not as much as usual. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for what I can say about this kit. It's very simple, but I think it's very successful in its simplicity. I guess I forgot to point out that there are a couple of seam lines that I think might be a little bit tricky, especially here. This shoulder part, there's a seam down the middle of that, and seams on rounded parts that have like a little crease, kind of this kind of little part there, can be a little bit difficult, but shouldn't be too bad. The other seams are just like here on the lower legs, but the one on the back I think you need to get rid of, but the one on the front is supposed to be there, so that's okay. Nothing on the arms, nothing really on the body or anywhere else. I think on the cannons there's going to be a little bit of a seam there, and maybe on the backpack as well, but nothing really too bad to wipe out there, so pretty simple fixes there for that stuff. Nothing really too bad, especially it's better than what was on the original, I think, so that's the important point. Otherwise, I think this kit basically has everything that you really want it to come with. There's nothing really that I think they left out or that they really could have done better. I think this is basically as good as they could have possibly done for this kit. I can't imagine anything else that I would have asked for it. So in that, I think it is a great success. One more classic Guncannon pose as we finish out this review. I gotta say, I'm very impressed so far with this Revive kit. I'm definitely looking forward to what else we're going to see from the Revive line. As I've mentioned in a previous video before, I'm not all that super excited about the RX-77-2, but I think, I don't know, when I actually put together, maybe I will be. I didn't think I was going to be excited about this one, but I have definitely come around to it. So we'll just have to see. I think basically the kit that I'm looking forward to the most from the Revive series is the Mark II. So I can't wait to get that one. Anyway, what do you guys think of this kit? If any of you guys got this, if you're not fans of the Guncannon, particularly like me, did this bring you around to it? Let me know. And if you have any other questions, anything I missed, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.